Okay, I'm going to show you a basic one length cut, okay? This can be adapted depending on your client, depending on the needs, but obviously we're just going to go for a 0 degree. We're going to go just bringing it all straight, okay? So there's no angles involved in this. I'm not doing it slightly inverted or anything else. Okay, so after our hot cross bun sectioning, I'm going to take a little section down. Okay, nice neat sectioning, keeping it clear lines. Ideally, when you're doing a one length cut, you do want your client's head to be tilted slightly forward, okay? Not where they're looking straight down, but obviously just slightly forward, just slightly down. So when you're working on your block for a one length cut, you need to imagine they've got shoulders, because obviously else you'll be, especially if it is longer hair. Okay, small section. I tend to sort of just try and work sometimes with probably like an inch, depending on what style I'm doing. Okay, and I'm pulling it straight down. Okay, I'm not pulling it out. You pull it out, you end up sort of losing a bit of the tension. You end up with some like little bits. So you have to imagine that you've got little shoulders that obviously I've gone straight down against. So again, the imaginary shoulders, and I'm there. You can see I'm not pulling it out, I'm doing it straight down. Okay, then I'm going to check it's even. Okay, right, now my guideline is even, okay? I've gone through, made sure it's all even both sides. Again, use my comb, take my section. You can see everything I'm doing here, my scissors and my comb are in the same hand, okay? I'm not moving the comb, I'm not putting it down in between, I'm using it all in one. Go, okay? Make sure you're even both sides. So a small section, because you need to be able to see your guideline from underneath. If your sections are too big, you will lose your guideline and you don't actually know what you're cutting. Again, you're pulling it straight down. You can see even when I'm sort of combing it down, I'm always combing everything down. Try not to sort of think, oh, I've got to go up like this and then bringing it down, because actually all that hair underneath is now all just sort of, you've gone upwards, so you're losing that tension. You need to make sure it's all going down, okay? It's all straight. We're all at it's all at a 0 degree angle for this one. If you can see. This block is slightly layered. as most blocks do come slightly layered anyway, so you won't be able to sort of do a full one length, but this would give you the idea of what you're doing. So each bit, obviously I'm doing the imaginary shoulders. Just going to check that I'm still on track. I've got a little corner there. Okay. Try to imagine when you're doing these sides, ensure, depending on whether you're left or right-handed, that you are bringing your fingers slightly down. It's better to be sort of slightly longer, these bits, than shorter. You go shorter, we end up having to round it and it would be like a little bowl cut. I think this might be our last section coming down. With this cut, I'm not moving around the head. I'm literally sort of staying in one space behind the head. Okay, right. Normally I would go up section by section, but I'm going to take this down now to sort of check to see if there's any longer bits because it's already quite layered. I don't think there is anything. You can see I'm bringing it back and I'm still bringing those corners back. There is nothing. Right, so normally now we do start with the sides, and I'm just wondering whether there's going to be anything to cut off on these. Hopefully there will be. Oh, there might be a little bit. Right, so with the sides, you're going to bring them back, okay, with that bit. Obviously I've only got a little bit there just to sort of straighten those off, so it's literally just that. Okay, what you'll do is bring those all coming backwards for a one length cut, okay, just so that you don't round it off. Okay, let's have a look at this side. Like I say, normally this would all be done in smaller sections, small section by section. But because obviously I know there's not an awful lot to come off, this side might be a bit more actually. We do normally do it small sections, just so that you don't lose where you're going really. I'm going to make that section smaller actually. So on this block, I can see there's like bits already missing. So again, I'm going back to the imaginary shoulders, and I'm sort of, I can see my guidelines over here, and that's what I'm following. And then my next bit down. Right, there is nothing there now to cut. Okay, so what I would then be doing is bringing this back, sort of checking each of the sides to make sure that they are even, okay? And I would go through the haircut that way, sort of pulling them down so I'm symmetrical both sides. Make sure your client is sat straight for this haircut. If they've got their legs crossed, normally we say, can you ask them to uncross them to ensure that they're not sort of like sat off balance. When you're working, make sure you're using the mirror. You can use the mirror to sort of, when you're checking, when you're pulling it down, use the mirror as well. It's not just about feel, but obviously use the mirror as well. Yeah, but just ensure that you're pulling it straight down. As soon as you start pulling that out, you're losing that 1 degree, you're losing that 0 degree, sorry. So just ensure that you're always at 0 degree. This way you're going to have like little wispy bits, it won't be a nice blunt finish. Okay, right, next cut.